Hey guys, welcome to the video. I'm 1442 Stuart, hope you're all having a good day. In today's video I'm going to be readdressing my tips video for Wolcen. Now that I don't use text-to-speech and making some of the tips more accessible and understandable for the newer audience. As always, for more content like this, make sure to like and hit the subscribe button. For me that'd be great. Cheers, let's get into the video. For my first tip, I'm actually going to be focusing and advising all new and inexperienced players to make sure they get this node as soon as possible. I will have footage behind me showing what and where this node can be found and showing its effects and the description on screen. This node gives global life leech to the note of 0.5% of damage. Although this doesn't seem a lot at all, there are ways to make this go a lot further than it originally seems. Leveling with this node plus some other hints from my tip list and you'll be struggling to find an enemy that can kill you through the campaign. And then soon enough you'll be in endgame where you can focus on min-maxing your gear to the playlist you'd prefer. Tip 2. Sockets. The second tip is nearly as important as the first one, in terms of making it much easier to survive whilst leveling. There are many different types of sockets in Wolcen with many different types of armour and offhands being able to roll different socket types. I'll list which item can roll which socket on screen during this section, but there is a gem I'd like to recommend you keep your eyes out for, and that gem would be the amethyst, because these gems in particular give a ridiculous amount of health regeneration per second, per socket. So if you can manage to grab 5 or 6 of these and keep them socketed throughout your gear throughout the campaign, you should have an insane amount of sustainability. Tip 3. Using the vendor the right way. In this game and many ARPGs, there comes moments sometimes where you'd accidentally deleted the wrong item or you just haven't upgraded your gear in so long that now you can barely progress. And it's just painful to play. Well, if you ever find yourself in this unfortunate circumstance, then I've got a trick to get around the issue. When you visit your merchant, there will be a preset amount of items all scaled to your current level. If you load in and out of the game, you can make the table of items refresh, giving you an infinite amount of items all at your level to choose from. Be warned, this tactic does require the gold to buy the items, so keep that in mind. Some would consider this tip an exploit. I'm not a fan of it either, but as long as it's in the game, and you can use it to benefit you and, try and not abuse it to get the most perfected items rolled easily without having to actually play the game. But don't do that because it's bad. I don't do that, it takes all the fun out of it. Tip 4. Crafting. Crafting is not at all beginner friendly. This tip is aimed at newer players, as are most of these tips on the list. The crafting materials in this game are ruthlessly punishing, and it's easy to brick any item at any time when crafting. So to achieve anything crafting wise in this game, it's extremely well advised to have a huge surplus of the required material before you even think about what item you want. So because of this being the case with crafting, new players, I implore you, do not think about crafting until you're well into endgame. Then when you're trying to make a 3 to 400 DPS one-handed or 5 to 600 DPS two-handed, welcome, you're with the losers. Tip 5. My last tip is combat based, so this tip is a bit more focused on when you're actually playing. When you encounter your first boss or your first special enemy, it will have a second bar below the enemy known as the break bar. Once broken, this stuns the enemy in place, which doesn't actually increase damage, but it does allow you to do damage completely unchallenged, without having to micro across the screen all the time, trying to dodge everything, line up your hits. He just stands there and you can smash him. Here's the real tip though. There are some damage types that break this bar extremely quickly, these being cold and lightning. Because when you inflict the status stun, it will chunk down this bar by huge amounts, whereas if you were to just hit them with fire damage or toxic for example, these elements don't have a chance to stun or freeze. So I'd recommend a skill on your bar solely there, just for breaking the bar on bosses. It will make these fights much easier for you. And in regards of the elements, I know that fire and cold and lightning break the bar extremely easy. I'm not sure of this shadows or the aether, I'm not sure if they do. Fire doesn't, toxic doesn't, bleed doesn't. Physical has a chance to stun also, so you just spec mainly physical, you can break bars pretty quickly like that. And with that guys, that's my 5 beginner tips for Wolcen. I hope you found these helpful. If you did, drop a comment below and like. And if you didn't find them helpful, well, drop a comment below and tell me why. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. See you next time. Peace.